The Senate Judiciary Committee today opening an investigation into former Attorney General Loretta Lynch's efforts to protect Hillary Clinton. The committee sending a letter to Lynch asking her to detail her involvement in the FBI's investigation of the Clinton email scandal. Lawmakers also want to know whether Lynch ever assured Clinton confidence that the investigation wouldn't, quote, push too deeply into the matter, as reports have alleged. Joining me right now to discuss the possibility of obstruction charges against Lynch, the potential conflict in the Comey investigation, and the fate of the GOP's health care bill, the executive editor for the Weekly Standard and Fox News contributor, Fred Barnes, and senior fellow at the London Center for Policy Research and columnist for the New York Post, Betsy McCoy. Good to have you both here. What's your reaction, Betsy, to what we have seen now out of D.C.? Now they're going to look into Loretta Lynch. It's like it's getting flipped on its head, this whole obstruction of justice issue.
I'm glad they're looking into it. No one should be above the law. And the emails that have been cited by the Washington Post and the New York Times as being exchanged between the Democratic National Committee and the Justice Department, they raise troubling issues. But let's not forget that everyone whose life intersects with James Comey is facing trouble. His innuendos, his accusations, his seeking attention, his self-justifications, they all seem to land other people in trouble. So I'm keeping that in the back of my mind, even as I see this new investigation focus on Loretta Lynch.
Right, wherever he goes, he seems to be in trouble. Both sides.
That's right.
Fred, you know, he had a duty, did he not, to say something if he felt either Loretta Lynch was a problem or if he felt Donald Trump was a problem when it came to obstruction of justice. He never said anything. So how can he go back after the whole ordeal and cry wolf now?
Well, I mean, this is why we want to get Loretta Lynch and James Comey under oath in answering questions from the Judiciary Committee. I mean, there's a lot more that we've learned about leaks by Comey and things he's done that he said he hadn't done. Look, we're a long ways from getting the truth. You know what? I want to hear from Loretta Lynch and Bill Clinton, for that matter. Did it just happen that they met at the Phoenix airport and discussed their grandchildren? And I mean, that's pretty preposterous. But was that meeting planned? What did they really talk about? And the way we find out is we get them under oath.
Well, and of course, part of this is stemming from concerns about a potential letter that was sent to a campaign staffer for Clinton by Debbie Wasserman Schultz, or a potential exchange there where she essentially said, Betsy, don't worry about this. We got to cover. It's not going to go too far. Don't worry. So if Loretta Lynch is making those kind of promises, that sounds to me it's pretty political.
And that's exactly what happened.
Not just political.
Hang on one second, Fred.
It's a violation of the law.
Violation of the law. All right. Let's turn to the special counsel for a moment, because Fred, I find it kind of amazing. I want to get your thoughts on this. That James Comey happens to be buddies with Robert Mueller. And Robert Mueller not only is friends with Comey, but he has then stacked the deck, essentially, by getting a bunch of people added to his team that have donated either to Hillary Clinton's campaign or to other Democrats. Isn't there some fundamental flaw in that? Shouldn't there be some rule against that?
Fundamental flaw is putting it mildly. You know, look, Mueller has a reputation in Washington for integrity and honesty, and it was known, of course, his relationship with Comey when he was selected as the special counsel. So if anybody's to blame for that, it's the Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein. And I think that should have been enough for him to have picked somebody else. If he was going to have a special prosecutor in the first place, which I don't think he should have. But hiring all these people who donors to the Clinton campaign, including a lawyer who worked for the Clinton Foundation, you know, I mean, clearly,
you can't find anybody else. I mean, anybody? Anybody? All right, very quickly.
Hiring.
Betsy, I want to ask you about this Hillary Clinton tweet that just came out moments ago. She writes, forget death penalties. If Republicans pass this bill, they're the death penalty. Or they're the death party, she says. Forget death panel, they're the death party. I mean, this is coming at a time when Scalise is just getting out of the hospital. I mean, you got a congressman that was shot.
This kind of inappropriate language, demagoguery, when we're dealing with a serious issue, rescuing the nation from a totally failed health care law, Obamacare. It is gone. It is no longer functioning. And to use that kind of language when this bill will put more people to work, will reform Medicaid, will repeal the job-killing employer mandate, and provide $600 billion in tax relief to get our economy moving.
Tone deaf. Tone deaf, and well, I mean, she obviously, she never wants to see this thing through, but I'm just pointing out that at a time like this, when the Republicans are dealing with all of this vitriol, to then start saying that they are the death party is going a little far.
I mean, the American people are rejecting this, as you can see in the Georgia election the other day. They're rejecting this kind of sabotage, this kind of rejection of a two-party system.
Indeed,
they don't want to have anything to do with it.
Are well put. Betsy McCoy, thank you so much. Fred Barnes, good to see you, sir.